All right, here now with reaction, we have House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer, along with the chairman of the ever so important House Ways and Means Committee, Jason Smith. Chairman Comer, let me start with you. Let me get your general reaction to all of this.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not surprised. Look, this is one of many crimes that Hunter Biden has committed. We believe that if you're going the tax evasion route, not only did he evade taxes on the obvious income that Weiss charged him with, but also the loans. And that's something that Jason Smith and the Ways and Means Committee are looking into as well. We believe that if you look at the loans that Jim Biden and Hunter Biden had, there's over $13 million in loans and no trace of principal payments, much less interest payments. So at what point does a loan become income? We believe there's significantly more tax liability than what he has. We also know that there's money laundering. We get that from all the suspicious activity reports. Most of the 170 suspicious activity reports at Treasury implied that the Bidens were money laundering. And from what we can look at with their bank statements now and the research we've done, I can confirm it sure looks like money laundering to me. You also have the obvious violation of the Foreign Agents Registration Act. And who was he lobbying for? He was lobbying for China, Russia, and some of the worst countries in the world. But also, he was lobbying his father. So that makes Joe Biden liable in Foreign Agent Registration Act liability. So we've got a lot of concerns here. This is the tip of the iceberg. I'm not surprised it happened before this week, but this case is far from being over.
How much money are we talking about, Congressman?
Well, we know they've gotten over $24 million from our enemies around the world. Now we're finding all these loans. Jason Smith just released the parts of the transcript from the whistleblowers. You've heard John Solomon break the story that there's an additional $3 million that he may owe Kevin Morris. What are the terms of that? Is he ever going to pay it back? If you have a loan for years and years and years and you don't ever pay any payments on it or have any intention of paying it back, then that's income. If you take $13 million in loans that we've identified with the president's family, that's another $4 million in federal income taxes that they would owe, in addition to evading taxes. I mean, there are many, many problems here, but at the heart of this is Joe Biden. All of this revenue came because of Joe Biden. Joe Biden knew what his son was doing. He knew what his brother was doing. He met with all the people, even though he said he never met with them. He continues to lie about it. He did it this week. This is a concern. We fear this president is compromised. We know he's been dishonest with the American people, and that's why we're pressing forward with the impeachment inquiry next week.
Let me ask you, Congressman Smith, we learned a lot more this week in your committee where Gary Shapley and Joe Ziegler testified before your committee. What did you learn this week that we didn't know before?
First off, Sean, we would not be where we are today if it was not for those two brave whistleblowers that came before the Ways and Means Committee back in May. That led to all of the items that have been pointed out. In fact, they highlighted all of the tax crimes that were charged yesterday that they should have been charged years ago. They've also highlighted how the Justice Department obstructed their investigation in ways that they have never seen before. And they highlighted, in fact, where numerous leads led to President Joe Biden, but they were halted, stopped in their tracks. Search warrants with public figure one being President Biden were removed. There was numerous examples that led to President Biden. For example, Kevin Morris, that was mentioned by Mr. Comer, the gentleman who originally paid off $2 million of Hunter Biden's loans. They testified this week that it's in fact $4.9 million of loans and payments that Kevin Morris has delivered to Hunter Biden. And what's really important, they also delivered an email that Kevin Morris sent the tax preparer for Hunter Biden saying, we have to pay these tax returns or it will be personally and politically liable. That was 3 weeks before Super Tuesday, which ultimately decided Joe Biden as the nominee, the Democrat nominee for president.
Well, let me ask you this, too. All right, we have all of the lies told. I'll ask both of you the same question. We have the suspicious activity reports. We have all these shell companies that you've identified. The sheer amount of money, tens of millions of dollars. No services that we can identify rendered. We have, 10 family members that have gotten paid, including grandkids. Can you explain to me how much money we're talking about and how sophisticated this was, James Comer?
Yeah, I mean, it's over $30 million now. And we have no idea what they did to receive the money. Were they lobbying those countries? If so, that's simple. That's a Foreign Agents Registration Act violation. That's a penalty of up to 5 years imprisonment and $250,000 fine. So we've got a lot of questions for Hunter Biden about specific transactions. This may $100,000 wire here, a $5 million wire there. He told one bank examiner it appears that $5 million wire from China was a loan. It appears he told another bank examiner that it was a fee for lobbying. Either way, he's in trouble because either way, he wasn't telling the truth from what we believe the real answers are. So that's why we're bringing him in for a deposition. We have hundreds of specific questions that we have to ask Hunter Biden.
It's also about Joe Biden, isn't it? It's more about Joe Biden.
This is an investigation of Joe Biden. Joe Biden knew about this. And if he had been honest with the American people from day one, he may have gotten away with this. But the fact that he said he never met with any of these people, he never talked to any of these people, that Hunter Biden had a wall between his personal life and the government, all of this is proven to be false. And now the fact that we found these pseudonym emails, tens of thousands, 82,000 pseudonym emails that Joe Biden used, many of them were sent to people he swore he never even talked to. So, and the fact that they're covering this up, Sean, it's not only the crimes the Bidens have committed, it's the cover up. The government should be held accountable. Every single person who was involved in this cover up. And that's the goal of what Jason Smith and I are trying to do along with Jim Jordan.
All right. We'll give you the last word, Jason Smith. Where do you see this going in terms of Joe Biden?
Well, this entire investigation is about Joe Biden. I agree with what Chairman Comer just said. We are looking at, from the Ways and Means Committee, I want to see the tax returns. The tax returns that President Biden has publicly released, there's no indication that he ever received any interest income. However, we know that he's received more than $240,000 worth of loan repayments from his brother. Those loan repayments should have interest income. And if the president wasn't reporting interest income, that's a crime. His son just got charged with 9 tax crimes yesterday. Apparently, it might run in the family.
And by the way, you would have to pay interest, right, for it to be a real loan?
Absolutely. In order for it to be a real loan, you would have to pay interest. If you did not, it would have to be recognized in your taxes as a gift, which you would also have to pay taxes on.
All right, Chairman Comer, Chairman Smith, thank you both.